My daggone YouTube is on fire. I have been holding back some content for a while because I've been busy, but I've been taking mental notes, and now I am down uploading all that I can to the platform. And I think I have a lot of young followers, and I'm glad because they get to see and learn from different places and different perspectives what's going on, especially in our community and in the world. Okay, so we're going to talk about the UVA. I'm going to break it down. When I first saw it on the news, I knew it was a bullying situation because I'm from the area in which these young men live in, and there's a lot of bullying going on with these young children in these areas, and it's getting out of hand. Even when I was in school in 2000 with Columbine, Columbine was really crazy, and that was a bullying situation. So we got to get the bullying under control. But anyway, let's get to it. Go back and look at the clip where the shooter's father is talking about he had mentioned to him before he did anything that he was having problems, he was being bullied. This boy mother lived in Henrico, and he moved with his grandmother to finish school. And usually when you take a child, because they were, the father lives in Petersburg. The father left the family and he moved to Petersburg. And the mother really don't have a relationship with him either. He was raised by his grandmother. He was living with his grandmother. He came to his dad's house the day before to wash clothes, and his dad had a conversation with him. And he told him that he was having issues, he was being bullied, he had a couple of problems with a couple of people. And after that, they didn't talk anymore about it, and he went and did what he did. Now, there is a lot of bullying going around in these schools, and it's not the children's fault. It's the parents, because the parents are showing these children that bullying is okay. Bullying is in the music, bullying is on the news. People are just bullying. And it's like, this has to stop, because this is a breeding ground for situations like UVA to get started. These are college students. People are bullied in college. People don't understand that. I've never went to a college where I had to stay on campus. I didn't do that. I just drove to the college and took my classes and stuff like that. I didn't really like living on campus because nobody can watch, these children 24/7. So Christopher Darnell Jr., they said that he was a good student. He was good in school and everything. But I guess this situation, him going to the school in Richmond, and he was having issues with these people. And it was a bullying situation. So he goes and get a gun, and he shoots open fire on the bus that these people are coming back from a trip to a play, and he opens fire on the bus, killing 3 of them. One just got out of the hospital. His mother had to come up here from Baton Rouge. He had to have like 3 surgeries, and this is the end result. We have to get a handle on these black boys and their interaction with each other, and the bullying has to stop. Because even with my son, I had to go to the school because there was bullying going on. They were calling him, gay and doing all this bullshit, and I went to the school to talk to the principal. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all letting children pick on each other and y'all not intervening. Like, where's your conflict resolution with these children? And they brought an officer in, and the officer was just telling me the law, what they could do in the school and what they couldn't or whatever. I nipped it in the bud. I got to the principal and I said, look, this is not going to keep happening. Y'all going to start doing something or, it's going to be issues. So the principal nipped it in the bud, and the situation with my son, the girl that's supposed to be his so-called friend, she had another, this little girl is mixed, or she's white, I don't know what she is, but that was his friend. She had another friend who was a boy who's black. He's bullying my son, trying to fight him. And I'm like, what is the problem with these black boys in the home? They come to school and want to bully other black boys. What the fuck is that? I don't get that. So I was like, started going to people's houses, talking to the parents. I went to my son's friend's house to talk to her mother. Come to find out her mother doesn't even get along with her. And then she says her parents are racist and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, this is a damn problem. This is a problem. And it's an issue with the kids. And whatever the parent and the child relationship, it leaks over into their friendships and ends up in situations where people are getting bullied. So my son eventually kicked this little girl to the curb and stopped being her friend because she's a wannabe anyway. She wants to be black so bad. She claims that she is black. I don't know what her problem is, but the things that she was doing, she was having this other little black boy bully my son who's black. And it was just craziness. So I told my son, don't even talk to her anymore. And now, years later, this little girl has dropped out of high school. She's a dropout. And I'm like, see, this child is problematic. And these kids that are problematic, doing this bullying and stuff like that, and causing issues in school, they need to be, there needs to be some intervention. Because if I wouldn't have got into the situation with my son and getting him, finding out why he's getting bullied and all that, it probably would have went further, because my manager, I was talking to her, and her son was getting bullied for 2 years, and she just found out. And she didn't know until he finally went off, because he was being bullied every day. I have another parent that's my friend. His son has been diagnosed with schizophrenia, but the whole time he was in school, in the Richmond schools, he was being bullied so much he dropped out. And this is the problem in Richmond and Henrico. They have a situation where there's high crime. The children, the young boys are killing each other. They got gun issues, and it's just leaking out. And it's not the guns. It's the person behind the damn gun. Why does everybody keep wanting to attack the guns? No, it's the person that's pulling the trigger that you need to look at. But anyway, back to the UVA shooting. His mom hadn't seen him in months. His dad hadn't seen him in months. So that tells me that he kind of probably antisocial because he's been bullied so much. Because bullying causes trauma. And trauma can turn into mental illness. And people need to just really, here in Richmond, Virginia, and Petersburg, Virginia, they need to start a campaign on stopping the bullying, stopping the violence, because bullying leads to violence, regardless of who it is. And if the parents don't know, or the parents don't understand that that's wrong, because some parents might think, hey, get over it, you'll be all right. And they don't understand that these children today are not like us back in the day. We would fight our bullies or stand up to them. Nowadays, these kids are not trying to do that. They want to get rid of the problem right away. This is a microwave society. So he was ready to get rid of this guy. or these three guys that he felt that was bullying him. And it's a cause and effect to everything. So the father apologized on behalf of his son to the families who lost their loved ones. But let this be a lesson that when you see children bullying each other, get in between that stuff, stop that stuff, and if your child is being bullied, go talk to the parents. You'll find out a lot about the parents of the child who is being bullied and the bullier. You'll find out about both of them. I remember my daughter, she was being bullied. And the little girl was dark skinned. My daughter is kind of like lighter complexion. And I didn't realize that this stuff still goes on in the black community. I thought, the kids got along until I started talking to my daughter. And the little girl was taking her lunch, picking on her because of her skin tone. And I'm like, what the hell is the problem? So I walk over to the building where the child is. The child takes off running. I go to the child's house, knock on the door, and look who come out the door. Her uncle/aunt comes out. Now this is a transgender or what, I don't even know what the fuck it was. But it was a transgender. He came out or she came out or whatever, how the hell he was, describing himself. To me, he looked like a man because he was dressed like a man, but he told me he was her aunt, so I don't even fucking know. But anyway, he looks at her and was like, do you want your ass beat? And I was like, oh my God. I was ashamed for coming to tell on her because I was like, this girl probably getting abused in this household. And it was a sad situation. But I told him, I said, look, your daughter or your niece is not going to keep hitting on my daughter. You better get her. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to get her straight. Yeah, you better. And then my daughter was being bullied again. Let me see. About 4 months ago, this white girl who probably been looking at CNN and MSNBC because she thinks my daughter acts too white, talks too white. And I'm like, oh, because she ain't speaking Ebonics or Ebonics or she ain't talking in broken English, she is white. I'm like, this girl is being brainwashed already. So she was dating this little black boy, and the little black boy likes my daughter. And my daughter is just his friend. She started harassing my daughter and stuff, and then she waits till I leave to go to work, come knock on my door and start fighting my daughter. So I get the video of her fighting my daughter and stuff. I go to the landlord and say, look, this is what's going on. The landlord tells me she can't do anything about it because she's a coward. She don't want to go and confront these people. So my children's father go over to talk to the child's dad. The child's dad knew what was going on the whole time. He saw the video, all that. He didn't say nothing to his daughter until my child's father stepped in and looked at him like, you better get your child. And then he give out his number and like, if anything else happens, call me and then the whole time he kept saying his daughter was a good girl and all this. He didn't even know his fucking daughter was dating. This is how stupid the shit sounds. Then he works every day, all day, long hours. His child is at home bullying people. Like, come on. So I went and reported, did a police report because I was like, I told my daughter, I said, you don't be the aggressor, but you're going to defend yourself. And I said, we're going to do a police report first to let everybody know that, hey, this is not going to be going on. So the police officer was like, well, if you want to get a restraining order, you can against the little girl or whatever. And I was like, well, we're going to talk to the father first, but I just want to get this on the record. So if anything happens again, I told my daughter, she put her hands on you, you better bust her ass. And that's how I do it. You're not gonna come. I'm not gonna be the aggressor. Because in Islam, they tell you don't be the aggressor, but when you're aggressed upon, you better defend yourself. So the father pretty much got the daughter in control. He took her phone, he put her on punishment, and all she does is stare at my daughter, and I'm like, this shit is crazy. Like, go get this girl some help. Like, she is jealous or something. I don't know what her problem is. And it's just this bullying stuff is getting out of control, especially here in America. The kids are, when we was coming up, yeah, children were mean, but okay, now the mothers and the fathers need to whoop ass, because now you letting the kids get out of control, and now these children go get a handgun and kill somebody because they're, being traumatized by being bullied every day coming to school. Who the hell wants to come to school every day and be bullied? I even had that issue when I was going to school. And I wasn't a problem. I was a good girl, but I was being bullied by other people who either was jealous because I had a lot of friends or the way I looked or whatever. But this is the issues in the black community that needs to go. Like, this crab mentality and this bullying shit got to go. And I'm tired of seeing it amongst the children. And the children are getting it from the parents who are bullying each other. They're getting it from TV. They're getting it from teachers and politicians and all this bullshit. It needs to stop. So the UVA shooter, in the end result, he done lost his life because he's going to be in jail for life. And he's unstable. He doesn't have a connection with his family because his father left the family a long time ago and moved to Petersburg, Virginia. His mother, when they was looking for him on the news, she was in her truck crying and sobbing because that was a reality check. This child, he needed more support, if you ask me, because he ended up living with his grandma. Why did he go to the grandma? Why is it that the grandma got to take care of all the damn kids in the community or take care of somebody else's child? Why the grandmas can't get old and be happy? Why are we doing this to the grandmas? It's just a mess. But that's what happened with the UVA shooter. He was being bullied, and I knew that when I saw it. I said, oh, he probably was being bullied. Because when you put children from different environments that's going through the same thing, because Henrico, Virginia, and Richmond, Virginia, there's a lot of crime up there. There's a lot of crime in Petersburg, Virginia. There is a crime problem. And the crime problem comes from the home environments being so toxic. And we need to straighten this shit out. Because I am tired of hearing parents talk about their children being bullied. Like, why? What is this? It needs to stop, because they're saying that 70% of children who have been bullied get access to guns. So one of the victims just got out the hospital. God bless him. He's doing better. He had 3 surgeries. The other 3 are dead. And it's crazy. But that's not the only news. There was also a child thrown in the trash can like 3 weeks ago in Richmond. Killed and thrown in the trash can. And he was black. So, what is going on? Like, we need to wake up. But that's what's going on with the UVA shooting. Christopher Darnell also was in a hazing situation where they investigated, but nothing came to it, But everybody keeps saying he was a good kid. Yeah, you can be a good kid, But once you put a good kid in a situation where they're being terrorized every day, somewhere, somehow, there's going to be a breaking point because bullying causes trauma to the brain. And I'm not making excuses for him doing that, but there's a cause and effect to everything. So that's what happened in the UVA shooting. It was a bullying incident, went wrong. So talk to your children, let them know if you see somebody getting bullied or you getting bullied, come tell me so we can get all the adults in the community to come together to stop the shit. Because that's what I did when my children were getting bullied. I went straight to the school, to the principal. What's going on? Why you ain't doing your job? And why are these children picking on each other? And why y'all not getting this together? And then I got on my son's ass because I said, why are you friends with a girl that's starting bullshit between you and somebody else that looks like you? Leave her alone. And when he finally left her alone, 5 years later, she done dropped out of school because her mom and dad don't even give a damn about her ass. So it's just it's a mess. We got good parents and then we got bad parents. And you're seeing it out in society here. You know, the good parents, their children commingling with children who ain't been raised right, and we getting all kinds of issues. So watch who your children hang out with. Watch their Snapchats, watch their group chats, because there's fighting and arguing in these group chats that leaks out on the street. So tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Salon B. Have a great day.